Oh, hey, hi, hey, friends. Good day to you. Hey, I'm wondering if you could help me today. I'm trying to find my way to Schoeneck. I'm wondering how to get to Schoeneck, and I'm not sure how to get there because I'm not finding it on my map here. Schoeneck. Do you know how to get to Schoeneck? Hmm. Wondering how to do that. Well, have any of you ever asked for directions before? And by the way, I think I do know how to get to Schoeneck. I've been there a couple times, but it's not on the map. Not on the map. Not little Schoeneck. No. Um, but the question was, have you ever asked for directions before? And maybe you have to know how to get to some place that maybe you've never been before. So what do we use to find directions or have tools that help us know how to get some places? Well, these days we use our phones and we use Google Maps here. There we go. You can see that a little bit. We got Google Maps on our phones that give us directions. Some of us still have our GPSs even in our cars that give us directions and tell us which way to turn. And there are a few of us who still have road maps, right? These atlases. And in there we have maps. Like this is the state of Pennsylvania on there, but there's no Schoeneck. But they tell us, give us directions on how to get to places. So when we are traveling to a place that we've never been to before, or on a road that we have never driven on before, it's good to make sure that we know how to get to the place we're going or where we are at, because we definitely don't want to get lost, do we? No, we sort of like to have an idea of which way to go, which direction to go, where to turn, and we are appreciative when people give us directions on how to find places, or appreciative of tools like maps or GPS or Google Maps that help us to find our way. If you have been watching these videos in order, you know that we've been talking about faith. And we've been talking from Hebrews chapter 11 about stories of people whose lives have been filled with faith. Yep. Hebrews 11 verse 1 says, faith is being sure of what we hope for. It is being sure of what we do not know or do not see. You know, it's like this. Faith is believing that what God says he will do will happen. Faith is believing that God made the earth, even if we didn't see it happen. Faith is believing that there's orange soda in this can, even if we can't see it inside there. There's a man whose name is included in Hebrews chapter 11. His name is Abraham. And in Hebrews 11, verses 8 and 9, maybe you can read that. Here's what it says. Abraham had faith. So he obeyed God, and God called him to go to a place where he would later receive as his own. So he went. He did it even though he didn't know where he was going. Because of his faith, he made his home in the land God had promised him. And Abraham was like an outsider in a strange country, and he lived there in tents. So Abraham obeyed God and moved to a place that he had never been to before. If you want to read that whole story, it's found in Genesis chapter 12. That's where the story of Abraham begins, in Genesis chapter 12, where it says this, the Lord said to Abram, go from your country, your people, and your father's family. Go to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing to others. So Abraham was being asked of God to do a new thing, to move to a new country, to go somewhere on the map or in the earth that he had never been to before. Wow. So, how do you react to new things? Are they scary? New things. Are new things scary to you? Or are they exciting? Or maybe a bit of both. We can be scared and excited at the same time. How many of you have ever moved from one house to another? Yeah, I have, and I think most of you have. We've moved from one house to another, maybe several places in our lifetime, maybe from one state to another. Most of us have moved at one point or another in our life. When you moved, did you know where you were moving to? Most of us know where we are moving to. We have visited a new house or the new place, maybe spent some time there. We had a good idea of where it was we were moving to. But not Abraham. Abraham had never been to the place where God told him to move to. So can you imagine not knowing where you were moving to? Ooh, that could have been a bit scary or a bit frustrating. God told Abraham to go to this place that he had never been to before. How do you think Abraham felt? Sure, he may have been a bit uncertain. He may have been a bit scared. But Scripture tells us that Abraham was a man of faith. And so Abraham trusted that God was making a good decision on his behalf, that God was telling him to move to a place where he would be blessed. And so Abraham wanted to believe that, and he did. God made promises, and Abraham believed. Abraham trusted God when he was making this move. So, what are some of the ways that we can trust God when we don't know what's going to happen? What are some of the ways we can trust God when we don't know what's going to happen? Well, we've been doing that, I think. Some of us are not sure when we're going to be able to go back to work. We're not sure when we're going to be able to meet again in large groups to do activities or do meetings. Or some of us are not sure when we're able to go back to our churches. We don't know when this flu, when this coronavirus will be over, when it'll go away. We don't know. However, I think that we have been trusting God for his leading, and we must continue to do that. We must trust God for the timing of our lives, for he knows best. He sees all, and he knows best. We must learn how to travel this new road, and it's a new road that we're traveling on because none of us have ever experienced this before in our lives. And we really don't have a roadmap that's showing us how to get from point A to point B at this point. We're just living each day and watching things change around us. But I believe we can do it with faith. I believe that God is with us, just as he was with Abraham, and he will help us get to this new place, whatever it looks like. So we continue to trust, and we must help each other to trust God as well. So when I'm asking you for directions to Schoeneck, maybe I'm asking you to help me find my way through every day that we are facing. I think that you can be people of faith just like Abraham. I will attempt to be a person of faith like Abraham. So I wish for you a very good day. I wish for you a day filled with peace. And meanwhile, I'm going to see if I can find out how to get to Schoeneck. Do you know how to get to Schoeneck? Anybody know how to get to Schoeneck? Hello? Anybody? How to get Schoeneck?